adjourned. Let's go across to Megha now. And Megha, Lok Sabha adjourned as Home Minister Amit Shah was introducing the Delhi Amendment Bill, and we heard the opposition continued with its ruckus and holding up of India for Manipur posters in the House, and finally leading to this adjournment.
Gargi, yes, the ruckus that you saw and Mr. Amit Shah getting up to introduce the Delhi Ordinance Bill, and just taking you through, we've been able to access a copy of the bill. This is exclusive to NDTV, and just taking you through the very important things that are contained in this particular bill. This is reading out to you the memorandum regarding the delegated legislation, so that we know what the crux of this bill is, because there is too many information that is floating around, and no one really knew till this time. You know, now that the copy of the bill we have been able to access, and now Mr. Amit Shah has introduced it in the House. Now people will be able to read what it is, but we have a copy with us, and I'm just reading it out to you. It says the clause 4 of the bill seeks to insert new part 4A in the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act 1991. The proposed section 45C and 45K inter alia empowers the central government. Take note of this, Gargi. Empowers the central government to make rules to provide for the tenure of office, salaries and allowances, provident fund, pension, gratuities, leave of absence and other conditions of bill of the officers and other employees appointed or posted. The powers, duties and functions of the officers and duties and functions of the officers and other employees appointed or posted, the qualification of candidates for the appointment to the post and the manner of selection for the appointments, transfer or posting of the officers and other employees posted, the procedure to be followed in imposing any penalty, suspension, pending departmental inquiries before the imposition of such penalty, and the authority by whom such suspension or penalty may be ordered, the officer or the authority to whom an appeal or revision shall lie, any other matter which is incidental to or necessary for the purpose of regulation, the appointment and conditions of services of person appointed to the services and post, the matter in respect of which rules may be made in accordance with the provisions of the bill are matters of procedure and detail, and it is not practicable to provide for them in the bill itself. The delegation of the legislative power is therefore of a normal character. Now, this is actually the crux of it. Now you understand that as far as the bureaucrats are concerned, the bureaucracy is concerned, the central government will have almost all the powers, all overriding powers, whether it is about the tenure, it is transfer or posting, it is about the penalties, it is about the action to be taken against
Megha,
them.
just to explain,
every power now comes
Megha,
to the central government if this bill goes through.
Why this is so contentious is that the Aam Aadmi Party actually went to the Supreme Court wanting the powers over the bureaucrats in Delhi. The Supreme Court ruled in their favor. It was a big victory after many years for the Aam Aadmi Party that the Supreme Court ruled that they will have control of bureaucrats in Delhi, because this had been something that had been a problem. They claimed in their efficiency and work in Delhi, given that the bureaucrats were answerable to the LG and therefore the central government. But after that Supreme Court verdict, then the central government brought in this ordinance to, once again reassert their control over the bureaucrats, and that is what has become such a huge controversy and led to AAP also going, across the country, meeting various opposition parties, asking them to support them against the bill when it's introduced in Parliament. And today is the day that the bill is being introduced, and this will give control to the central government over the bureaucrats in Delhi, something that the Aam Aadmi Party has been fighting against.
Absolutely. And Gargi, it's really not much to discuss here in the sense that everybody now knows that there has been so much of a back and forth and tiff between the central government, the LG's office and the Chief Minister's office here in Delhi over control over the bureaucracy. And yes, you are right, after the judgment in the Supreme Court, this ordinance was brought in within a span of about 8 days or so. This ordinance was brought in, and today it is introduced in the House in the form of a bill expected to be be passed both in the Lok Sabha and eventually in the Rajya Sabha as well, because the numbers are in the favor of the government. Now, I just want to quickly also take you through the annexure in this bill. The annexure, which is contained in Part 4, this talk and it basically then reiterates the supremacy of the office of the LG. And I'm just reading that part out to you, Gargi. It says point number 41, it says 41.1, it says the Lieutenant Governor shall act in his discretion in a matter. And what are these matters? Number 1, which falls outside the purview of the powers conferred on the Legislative Assembly, but in respect of which powers or functions are entrusted or delegated to him by the President, or number 2, in which he is required by or under any law to act in his discretion or to exercise any judicial or quasi-judicial functions. And finally, very important, in any question arises as to whether any matter is or is not a matter as respects which the Lieutenant Governor is by or under any law required to act in his discretion, the decision of the Lieutenant Governor thereon shall be final. These are the two very important aspects which are contained and which, like I'm telling you, Gargi, the crux of the entire of the bill. And here it is. It just establishes the supremacy of the office of LG when it comes to the entire of the bureaucracy. This is the contention between Arvind Kejriwal's, the Chief Minister's office, and the LG's office of the central government, you might want to say, is this the control over the bureaucracy, the control over the transfer postings, the appointments of the officers. And that's where the Chief Minister's office says, or the Chief Minister says, that I can't get bureaucrats of my own choice. And this fight has been going on. And today, if it gets passed in the Lok Sabha, today, tomorrow, whenever, and finally, eventually in both the houses of the parliament turns into a bill, this will, of course, change the way the government in Delhi functions.